Alright, so what I'm going to do here is bring in my visual aid. Your visual aid can be found in the Chapter 6 folder, lesson files. It's called Smiley. And I know you're like, wow, really? A smiley face? Yes. And you would be amazed how easy this is to understand once I break it down. Yeah, hypershade. Oh, there it is. Okay. So as I said earlier, it's oftentimes easier just to click and drag this in, so I do that rather than import it. And I'll make a new material for that. This is hypershade. I think I've covered this on one of the previous videos, so click on Lambert, texture, middle mouse button, click and drag to color. And now I have this attached to this. And this can be middle mouse button, click and drag to this. So here's what I have. I have Smiley, okay? And let's look at Smiley's UVs. First off, I want to kind of go through what I was saying earlier, how the UV space works. First off, think of it this way. This one repeats, so if I have Smiley, if I right click and go to UVs, go to W on the keyboard and move Smiley over to the other side, Smiley is still there. Okay? So it mirrors. This mirrors over to here. Now the problem is I can't see Smiley over here. Smiley's only visible over here, making it kind of hard to resize this. So I'm going to put the Smiley back over here. Notice how crisp this is. It's pretty crisp. This is a 1024 by 1024 pixel map. You notice I have a duplicate of Smiley. He is down in the corner here. Okay, so it would represent maybe what would happen if I shrunk Smiley down texture-wise. Well, let's do that. Let's take Smiley, go small, and move it over to here. And now you can see that Smiley isn't so crisp looking. In fact, he's got this blockading effect. So on a 1024 by 1024 map, you know, Smiley can only have so much resolution at small cycles. Now, if I was to take Smiley and I would have made him bigger in Photoshop using like 2048 or 4096, he could be smaller on the map and still maintain clarity. So what's important here? Well, texture space is important. At very large areas of texture space, you get high amounts of detail. Smaller, you get a blockading effect. Also, we'll think of it this way. This is a ball, but here I have like almost a plate. So what happens? Well, Smiley appears on the back side. Okay? Leading us to our next discussion, shells. To get a shell, all you do is have to go to Edge, double click it, make sure it goes all the way around the model, and we're going to cut this just like a cardboard box would. Or if you took a tennis ball and cut it down the center, you could eventually lay it out flat. Okay, so we're going to take this and cut it around this edge. Now this doesn't cut the mesh at all, it only cuts the UV structure. Okay, so how do we get both shells away from each other? Well, you can go to UV, just click any UV, control right click to shell, W on the keyboard will move that shell out. So now I have this shell and this shell. Well, what I can do here is take one of the shells, probably the other one, and move it off to the side. And let's pretend I don't want to keep doing that. Well, I can highlight this, and now anytime I click it, it'll highlight the shell. Okay. ER on the keyboard. Since this side isn't getting a smiley face, what I could do is put it over here in the corner where it won't do any harm. So I've manipulated its resolution on that side. So the resolution is really small. Alright, now that you see how UV shells work and how to lay out an object, let's go into a deeper conversation in the next video.